Once again, friends, I'm going to kick this off. We're going to have, like I said, tonight's a little bit special. We've got a few special musical guests. I'm going to play for you one of the pieces from Procoro Canada. I will let Michael do a quick introduction of the piece before I do that. And then we're going to dive in. We've got Dr. Becker at 6:30. We have Richard at 7. We've got Fran talking about the fly in, fly out lifestyle at 7:30. Then we have Dan Sundahl at 8 p.m. talking about post-traumatic growth. And then Alexander, our musician, is going to close us out tonight. So we got a fully packed evening. So again, I'm going to let Michael quickly introduce this piece. I will play it, and then we'll come back. And we're going to have just a little bit of a conversation with the men of the choir. So if you've got questions, drop it in the chat, and I will do my best to grab it. Michael, take it away, man. Do you want to just introduce this piece, and then I'll do a share screen?
Good. Thanks so much, Mike. Thanks all for having us share this evening with you. I was fortunate enough to listen in yesterday, so thanks again for sharing all your stories and experiences. My name is Michael, and I'm the director of the Procoro Canada. Procoro Canada is a professional choir, and there is very few of professional choirs here in Canada. And unfortunately, or luckily, we have one here in Edmonton, Alberta. We usually perform with women, so we have half women, half men, sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses. And now and then we perform a show where we just have the tenors and basses. So all the singers you'll see on stage are professional singers. They're trained musicians. They're actually getting paid for their performance for whenever they show up at like a contractor. But there's more to than just showing up and doing a job. And I think when Mike visited us at the beginning of this show, so when we started with our practices and talked a little bit about his experience, we all could really relate to being, emotionally connected, connecting with intention when we make music together. So the number we'll hear, we actually have two of the guys here on screen, like Kyle and Brett. You'll see those. You actually see those because they're going to be in front, the soloists. And then some of the other ones you'll see in the background. And we'll sing a standard you might know by James Taylor, Fire and Rain, actually arranged by one of our guys, Oliver. And after that, I would just like to, throw the ball to a couple of the singers and say, what does it mean as a man to make music and be on stage and connect with the music, with emotions, with others? Okay, so, but Mike, thanks for having us, and let's listen to Fire and Rain with Kyle and Brett as soloists.
Let's do it.
This morning, and I wrote down this song.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just it was such a special moment, and the text, hearing this about hard times and having friends and sharing that, and performing them together. But I just want to hand it over. Maybe, I mean, we have Tyson and Peter on the screen. Maybe Tyson, if you want to just, like, what does it mean for you to sing on stage with other men, to be emotional, vulnerable on stage?
Yeah, well, for me, choir was definitely one of the places where I realized I could, I could sort of be vulnerable and let my, let my emotions out, as opposed to keeping them in, which is a really common thing. And so, yeah, like Michael was saying, we are singing in a choir that is sometimes tenors and basses, but is sometimes sopranos and altos too. And being a shy person, I realized, oh, this is a place for me to meet women. And, uh, you know, like my wife is someone I sang in choir, and so that's part of it as well. But being able to connect with others, there's something that's really powerful about singing together. And so yeah, not just for tenors and basses, but especially for tenors and basses, I'd say it's a really important thing to do.
Mm. We have two of the soloists, thanks Tyson, here also on maybe Kyle. Kyle is the guy who had the lead. Maybe Kyle, you can just speak to us a little bit about just being up there and performing that text, that number with, us in the back, but also in front of an audience. What does it mean to be in front of an audience and sing about these emotions?
That's a great question. There's a very unique experience of singing in front of other people. I find if it's a more intimate setting and I'm just singing in front of, friends and family, that's probably the most nerve-wracking experience a person can have. But when I'm singing to an audience of, there's some familiar faces, but just a general mass of people, I find it a very different experience because you're no longer connecting with a single individual. You're now connecting with the whole pulse of the room. And the first time you experience that, it is like it'll knock your socks off. It is a unique thing. And I really felt it that night, in that concert. Um, I think for a lot of us, it was the first time that we've maybe even had that many men in the same room singing together. I know some of us have experienced that before as well, but it's been several years since we've had the opportunity. It was, it was a special night on more than one front, but singing that song, feeling those lyrics, and seeing how the room was feeling it as well, is just yeah, I don't know. I can't put it into words. How did you feel about it, Brett?
I really like how you presented that, just like what it's like to share part of your inner self with a room of people, and how what that group is doing affects how you perform, and how what you are doing affects them, and that like really beautiful shared experience is such a, like you said, blows your socks off the first few times you experience it, and that like there's it pulls something out of you that often is hard to find in yourself. So I really like that a lot. And that song in particular about like loss and not being sure what to do in the face of these things. I mean, like, yeah, getting to share that with the people you're singing with and the people you're singing for is like there's a lot of things that get pulled out of you that are both sad and beautiful.
Well said.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. So Brett is the other soloist you saw up front together with Kyle. We have a couple more singers who are on the meeting today with us. So, we just heard from the feature soloists, but there are also people in the back row. Tyson was one of them, and there's one thing that is just that the whole when you stand together and feel the neighbor, and you're doing something with with other guys, other humans, you perform together with them. And I find, and Mike and I, when we first exchanged a little bit, I realized this, and I've said this to the choir also on occasion, like the moment that you sing and you make music and you share that with somebody and you share it with the neighbor, there's really there's no possibility for hate. There's no possibility to not like this person beside you, to have negative feelings, because there's a connection that happens, and it's not possible. There's just sharing in that moment. And I sometimes I wish that we all had more of those opportunities where we can just come and do that together, do this. I mean, Mike always puts it as, connect with intention, emotionally connected man, etc., etc. And this is one of those moments. Maybe I know some of you don't have a mic that can talk to some of the singers, but maybe Peter has a short comment on some of this, and then I think
we've got about 3 minutes.
3 minutes left. Yeah. So Peter, short comment.
People into the next section.
I'm renowned for being verbose. I'll keep it very quick. The larger context of that performance was that we were singing with the Edmonton Swiss Men's Choir and the older boys and men of the Grand Prairie Boys Choir organization. And what I have found in that event was another example of what I've experienced repeatedly over many years of people connecting in community through music. And it's invariably positive. As somebody just said, it's impossible to hate the guy you're standing next to when you're doing this. If we felt that way, we wouldn't do it. But the other side of it is that we can bring people in. And I work with another organization where we have a group of men living in very vulnerable circumstances. They are their own peer support group through both music and the human connection that comes with that. So that's part of the bigger context. One of the reasons why I keep doing this. I love it. And it gives me a much bigger life, a much richer life as a result of doing it.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Peter. I really appreciate that. Thanks for all Procoro singers who have been here tonight, and for everyone to listen. I think all of you all can sing. You all can sing. If you ever want to experience that, find a group where you can sing with, and you can sit beside somebody who can share that kind of emotion with you, and also with somebody out there. There are groups out there on any level that you can connect in any kind of little town or bigger city where you can go and sing. And I do this job because I believe in this, and I believe you all can sing. So take that opportunity and connect through song.
I love that. So, Michael, where can folks find your organization, your choir? Where can they, if they want to follow up and hear more from you guys, where can they do that?
Yeah, you can go to procoro.ca. You can find us there. I shared the link of this video of this performance in the chat, so we can go and listen to it again, maybe as somebody said, on different speakers or headphones. But you also find other information in there. You can be in touch, and we can connect you. You can find somebody like Tyson Kerr is working with organizations. Peter Malcolm is working with organizations. I think Kyle Carter also is working with organizations who work with, on different levels with different groups, community groups in singing. So there's a lot of possibilities just here in Edmonton to connect, and we're happy to make that connection throughout.
All right. Thank you very much, gents. Next year, I'm telling you, I'm going to hit you up early in the equation so that we can put something together live. Because I got to tell you, folks, I got to see these men live, and it was so powerful. Yeah, and we're going to need to schedule more time for all of this. Because yeah, we could have these conversations all day. I just love the celebration of community, the bringing together. There's a magic that happens when men come together with intention. Whether we're talking about conversations around mental health, whether we're talking singing, whether it's just connecting, as we're going to hear throughout the night, men's sheds. All right, friends, we've got Harold Becker is going to be on right away at 6:30. So hop on off this meeting. You're going to have to go to that next one. In the lobby, you can jump onto the webinar there, and I will see you over in that other webinar. All right, friends, we'll see you at the next session. Thank you so much, Michael and crew.
Thank you. Thank you all.